Hey guys, tonight we're chasing clouds across ancient Thessaly, where something odd is floating overhead. It's not a chariot, not a thunderbolt. No, it's a goose. A very graceful, suspiciously well-groomed goose. You're on a dusty hillside, picking your way past scrubby olive trees and whispering pines, when the bird circles once, twice, then disappears behind a low roll of cloud. You might be dreaming already, but no, this is the start of something far stranger. A myth with feathers. You probably won't survive this story logically, but hey, that's Greek mythology for you. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're settling in, tell me in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is. I love seeing the global bedtime crew. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You trudge on, sandals kicking up little puffs of dry soil. The wind picks up, and in it you catch a sound somewhere between a hiss and a honk. You look up again, half expecting a regular bird. But no, this goose, if it even is a goose, gleams slightly, like it's been lightly polished. It's white, yes, but with an almost imperceptible shimmer of gold, as though it's catching sunlight no one else can see. You're not entirely surprised when it speaks. Not out loud, of course. That would be tacky. But the goose's eyes lock onto yours in a way that tells you it's not just here for breadcrumbs. No, this is the kind of goose that has plans. Complicated, divine, probably romantic ones. You've wandered into a myth, one of those odd side quests the Olympians are so fond of. And the goose? That's Zeus. Yes, that's Zeus. King of the gods, thunderbolt enthusiast, inescapable flirt, and apparently part-time waterfowl. Historians still argue whether the ancient Greeks took this goose form literally or metaphorically, but either way, it's immortalized in vase paintings, crumbling, temple, murals, and confusing footnotes from crusty scholars who clearly had questions. Now, before you ask why Zeus is flying around in goose form like a rejected children's book character, we're getting there. But first, it's important to understand, this was not his only bird moment. Zeus had phases. You might say he dabbled in the avian arts. But tonight, we're not chasing all his forms, we're sticking with the goose, just this one story. And it begins right here, in Thessaly, in the golden age of gods and mortals, when Olympus still loomed like a real estate project and divine beings kept meddling with everyone's lives for sport. The air is dry, the cicadas are buzzing like badly tuned cellos. You press on. Below you, a river glints lazily, and near it, a woman in a flowing, silvery robe is walking storming through a patch of reeds. You can almost feel the temperature drop around her. This is Nemesis, goddess of retribution, keeper of cosmic balance. Not someone you'd prank on a good day, let alone chase around as a goose. Nemesis doesn't look back. She senses something behind her goose steps, probably, but she doesn't flinch. She has dealt with this before. She is not in the mood. The myth tells us that Zeus desired Nemesis. Why? No one's quite sure. Maybe it was her power, her cool indifference, her refusal to giggle at his godly pickup lines. But whatever it was, he wanted her attention. And Nemesis wanted none of his. This is not your typical love story. There are no violins, no moonlit walks, no consent forms, just a deeply determined goose and a deeply uninterested goddess. So, Zeus transforms some say into a goose, others claim a swan. There's mythic debate on the taxonomy here, but we're going with goose because frankly, it's funnier. And also more confusing, which suits the vibe of this bedtime spiral quite nicely. As you walk, you notice strange details. The grass doesn't rustle when the goose moves. The clouds above seem to pause. Time, it appears, is waiting to see how this will all unfold. You try to keep your distance. There's something about a glowing god goose that tells you to give it space. But curiosity wins. It always does in these stories. You follow, stepping carefully over twisted roots, and mythic detritusine, abandoned sandal here, a half-eaten ambrosia fig there, and as you walk, your mind wanders. Why a goose? Why not a hawk? Or something more majestic? Historians have pondered that too. One theory suggests it's tied to ancient fertility symbols. Another links the goose to Egypt and long-lost myths of cosmic eggs. Still another insists it's just Zeus being weird. You reach a clearing, where the goddess has vanished and the goose is circling, frustrated. Even divine birds have bad days. You settle into the grass and listen to the wind. Somewhere nearby, a dryad yawns. The story is just beginning.